Kevin Blondin, and you're watching MediaPlex Live at 1. Yesterday morning, Windsor police opened fire on a 33-year-old man shortly after 8 a.m. The confrontation took place outside the McDonald's at the corner of Wyandotte and Goyo. Witnesses have said that 3 shots were fired and the man was attended to first by police, then by paramedics on the scene. The Special Investigation Unit, which probes cases of sexual assault, injury, and death involving police, said the man was pronounced dead at the hospital at 9:29 a.m. An autopsy is scheduled for Thursday in London. Irene Moore Davis is a local author and educator, and she dropped by our studio in this edition of 3 Minutes With.
Hello everybody, and welcome to 3 Minutes with Irene Moore Davis, the author of The Long Road Continues, which is going to be released in October 2018. So Irene, tell us, what is the book about?
So this is a book that was inspired by a book that was written in 1967 called The Long Road. And it's about the history of people of African descent in Windsor from the 18th century right up to the present.
And what inspired you to write this book?
In 1967, when Charlotte Bronte Perry wrote her book, she used all of the best resources that she could find, but a lot of information wasn't uncovered at that time. So there were a group of us that really wanted to update that book and add to it, and also make sure that we're including our Caribbean and African immigrants who have come more recently, because they're definitely part of the story.
And has the community been interactive with your book project?
They have been. We asked for people to bring in samples of photos and other items that we could collect and make part of the story. And we've also been recording oral history interviews with people who have some stories to share from their time in Windsor. So that has been extremely helpful.
And is there something special from the samples that you got, something you remember?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I myself, even though I love history and have studied it for a long time, have been learning a lot about the struggles of people who were fighting segregation in Windsor and all of the ways in which people worked together to create a more equitable situation, not just for African Canadians, but for everybody.
Who do you want to dedicate this book to?
I think I would want to dedicate this book to Charlotte Bronte Perry, who did an amazing thing collecting all of the stories that she did in 1967, but also to all of our ancestors, the people that we don't know who did so much to make this a great city.
Also, the previous book that you wrote in 2016, which is called A Fluid Frontier, it was also about Black history. How is The Long Road Continues different from that one?
That book in 2016 was actually an anthology. There were 14 of us who wrote it together, and it was a great book, and it still is a great book. It was about both Black history in Windsor and Detroit along the Detroit River borderland. This is really about specifically the city that we now know as Windsor. So history of Sandwich and Windsor from the 18th century to the present, and it is pretty all-encompassing in terms of the time frame that it covers, as opposed to being something that's Underground Railroad related.
And where can the members of the community reach you to share historic photos or samples?
The easiest thing would be for people to contact the North Star Cultural Community Center, which is our partner on this project. This book is being published by Biblioasis and the North Star Cultural Community Center, and I'm the author. And they can be reached at 519-252-7143 if someone has photos that they want to contribute.
Thank you very much, Irene, for joining us today. This has been 3 Minutes with Irene Moore Davis, and I'm your host, Miriam Farag.
And now turning to the weather. Today we can expect it to be mostly sunny with a high of 5. On Friday we will see a mix of sun and clouds again with a high of 5, and on Saturday we can expect a mix of sun and clouds with a high of 4. If you would like to see what we do here at the MediaPlex, this Saturday, March 24th, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., there will be a college-wide open house. You can tour each of the campuses, meet faculty and students, learn about student services, explore financial aid options, plus win great prizes. We hope to see you here at the MediaPlex. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Kevin Blondin, and you've been watching MediaPlex Live at 1.